Excited to show some camera control code from Isaac Sim 5.0. I use this quite a bit, and I've never kind of broken down how I use it to do things like follow a robot through a scene. And you can definitely create another ROS2 set of controls using the camera. I wanted to show how I do that because there's some tricky ways to do it, and there's a couple of ways. You can use the ROS2 bridge. You can also use a messaging based protocol. So I'm going to show both, and hope you get a kick out of it. First thing, let's go through the repo. Again, it is public, and will be included in a link in the description. But you can see here, it's fairly simple. There is a sender that's sending the controls. It can send it to a ROS2 topic. Also can send it over a temp file if you wanted to avoid ROS altogether. And what results is movement either way. So as you can see here, I'm getting RGBD. You got the image data, depth data, and IMU data if the camera is capable of that, etc. So here's how we're going to do it. We're going to run it just like this. We're going to launch this helper script, which I'm going to go through exactly how to do that. But really, you can just launch this and get it started. And then you can see all of the potential commands that you can use here. Now, I didn't create this README because I don't create READMEs at all, more or less like this. So shout out to my friends at all of my code assistants that I use, which include Claude 4 Sonnet, OpenAI 4.1, and I'm leaving somebody out, Gemini 2.5. So, and then Olama, another shout out there, because a lot of stuff is done in Olama that I don't want to pay for. Okay, so here we go. Here's some commands that you can run. You can do absolute position control, so meaning put the robot in a specific spot, or in this case the camera, and then here are the topics that are being published, etc. So we're going to, rather than look through it like this, we're going to just run this. I'm going to move this over to the other window and kind of also show you the repo and exactly what's going on here. So that first script that we saw basically just launches all the camera controls. Here it is. Super simple. Really, it's just running this and just setting up that we were in Jazzy and that we're using fast RTPS, right? So I'm going to run that. Okay, so it's running, and you can see here the first thing that's happening is I'm loading the I think it's called small room or something like that, and it's not moving. That's exactly what we want. Next thing I'm going to do, and this is all in the README, is I'm just going to check out what controls are available to me by running help. Got those. Move this out of the way for a second so we can see actually what's going on. So we've started up the Isaac Sim and I'm going to show you all the potential possible commands that are going on. So if I wanted to, I can move the camera forward. A little bit tricky to have all this stuff in the same window. Let's just test the whole sequence first. You can see the camera's moving. Rotating. Yeah, it's saying that's going to a specific position, but it's already at that position. Okay. So maybe we change that a little bit to make sure it goes and moves a little bit more dramatically. But then we can test the camera control. So I'm going to press enter to start this sequence. And now you can see we're moving to different positions, you know, with the camera control. And then obviously I can do little things like if I wanted to, let's say, send the camera to a certain position. Let's just move the camera down. I'll copy that, so and I'll just show this part of the screen. Yeah. So and actually, let's also run maybe RViz so you can see that running. So I'm going to run RViz. Command is RViz2 if you already have that already running. And then I'm going to go and get the image topic. It says status error. That's on purpose because we have not told it what topic we want. There's depth. If I want, there's depth data, or I can say RGBD. There we go. So now if I ran that, wrong thing, moved over too many things over. If I ran that again, let's test the camera controls again. Sorry, you can't see that in the window. But you can see now everything's moving as it should be. Publishing to ROS Topics. And let's verify that real quick. Let's open a new window. I'm also, by the way, in my -rc file, I have automatically sourcing this particular repo. But if I wanted to, ROS2 topic list. Oh, sorry, that's really small. Let me make this smaller. When I'm recording, it really has a hard time changing the window. I'm using Terminator if anybody is interested. But yeah, there we go. So there we go. So you can see I have all of the camera info data, command velocity, RGBD, set to pose, all of that, right? And if I look at ROS2 service, then I can see all of my services. There we go. Okay, so I think that's I'm going to keep these fairly short, but I think we can just briefly just go over a couple things that that happening here. One is I'm able to send topics via a test script here. So I'm basically sending these when I'm using that file. and I'm sending the twist messages when I'm using ROS2 specifically. So you'll see in the next one of these, up in this area here, I've already created a test package inside of ROS2 and inside of a workspace. So I'm going to actually use that test area to send messages, and the messages I want to send, and this is going to be in the next video. I think I promised it for this video, but I think it was one step that I was missing there in order to get us all to the same place, and that is going to now that we can control this via ROS2, then the next step is to use a LLM, essentially a VLM, to decide where to go in the scene. So we're going to probably build up a more complex scene, and some of the warehouse scenes are better looking. And before we drop a robot into that scene, we're going to just navigate the scene using an LLM. So the LLM will send these twist messages to the camera, and we kind of went over last time how the OmniGraph is created. So there's the OmniGraph right here, and then what you see here is essentially creating the viewport, setting the camera. There's a helper for depth and RGB, and from there, now I'm able to send essentially position messages, twist messages, straight to the camera, and the camera will move in that, and like you saw just in a second ago. So that's what happens. This is running a test sequence that just moves around over the scene. But the next video what we'll do is also make the an LLM that we choose randomly go ahead and move the camera around looking for important parts of a scene. I think that's important because a lot of times you want the camera to follow the robot around from a position behind it, so you can see everything that's going on. You can see the robot's perspective, but then you can see the bigger scene perspective. While that's useful, I usually have a little robot on my desk here, but I don't have a robot on my desk. But while that's useful is sometimes the camera is mobile, the robot's mobile, and that means you want to have something that can oversee the entirety of the activity. Sorry, I'm not in the camera. This is the robot, this is the camera. If the robot's able to move, and you want the camera to also move with it. And so that's a way of doing that, is sending everything together at the same time. Or maybe you want a fly-in perspective, so that maybe there's multiple robots and you want to zoom to an area of the scene and then see what's happening exactly at that area. This is a way to do that. All right, long enough video. Hope you are all enjoying this. Remember to like and subscribe. That definitely helps me out. Thanks. Bye.